Hello, YouTubers and TikTokers alike. I'm Kyle, and this is another driving vlog. Let's see if we can make this. Woo! That is what we call in the industry a death dart. Although, you don't know if that's real or not. I could just be faking it. So, which means you really can't know what the truth is, can you? No one knows what the truth is. So many things are just so jacked up. We don't know the truth. We don't know if the center of the earth is really nickel. We don't know if space is really endless. Like, think about this. Think about Pluto, right? The way that they found Pluto was a guy was looking at a bunch of dots in the sky, right? And they looked at one that didn't move. And they were able to tell that that's a planet. That's, you know, at the time, from what I could gather, looked a lot like our moon. You know, but Pluto, number one, is not a planet anymore, which I completely disagree with. I still remember Pluto, and we should all remember Pluto. Because Pluto's already out there, billions and billions of miles away from us, and it's just been cast to the side. Like, sorry, Pluto, you're not a planet. You know what? It was good enough to be considered a planet at one time. So you know what? F you, NASA. That's what I have to say about that. All joking aside, it does make me wonder. You know, you look at it like astronomy, right? And it's one of the craziest things. And it's just so wild to me that they're able to study stars and tell size of planets and, you know, galaxies and all this stuff that's, you know, so far away from us. And they're able to tell how big that these things are. Ooh, boy. Ooh, that's a scary one. Oh, that guy almost hit me. That could have been fun. But no, that stuff just like blows my mind. It's incomprehensible. It's like, you know, it's like the depth of the ocean, which ironically, the ocean and space are two things that absolutely terrify the hell out of me. They're scary, you know, and it's wild to me. Do you think that NASA decided to not keep track of Pluto anymore just because it was so difficult to keep track of it? They were like, hey, I know what we can do. We can basically say that the mass of Pluto is not enough to be considered a planet. This will cut out, like, you know, like 800 hours of work throughout the year. You know, the only time I've ever seen something in space that was just mind-blowing, you know, because like I was in Canada, and I remember looking up at the sky, and where we were positioned at, we were actually able to see Mars. Like, Mars actually looked like it was a miniature moon, but it was red. It's one of the coolest things I've ever got to experience, and I've heard people talk before about how depending on where you are on the planet, that when you look up at the sky, you can actually see the arm of the Milky Way galaxy. And from what I understand, is that you have to be in a place that's not very lit, mainly by unnatural light, so that way the sky can be seen as pure as what it's supposed to be. Oh, man, that would be so cool. I really want to see that. If anybody has pictures of that, I would love to see it. Space is terrifying, but it's really cool. It's beautiful, you know, and it's you know, this giant expanse of just, you know, nothing. And it's, you know, I'm kind of contradicting myself from earlier, but that was just me ranting and raving. Which leads me to my next point. If you are somebody that doesn't want to believe in extraterrestrial life just because you don't want to be a nerd, you can jump off of a very high building into a big pit of cactuses. When we're saying extraterrestrial life, we don't mean like take me to your leader or Al or, you know, any of that BS. We're talking about life. There are sustainable organisms on this planet that are humans and everything else that comes with that. It's like everything to us is normal. We you know, our lifestyles, the way that we act, the way that we do things, the entertainment that we watch. Kim Kardashian, you know, I'm Flava Flav, all these things. It's all life. This is life. Life on Earth, life on Mars, anything else that you can think of. It's just that some may be microscopic and another one may be way more developed than what we are. And if you genuinely don't want to even think about the fact that there's life on other planets, then I think that you're closed-minded. Because the universe is so freaking huge, and you're going to tell me that there are no aliens, and that there are no extraterrestrial life, or there's nothing else. You're closed-minded, and you really need to get over yourself. And everybody's all like, oh, well, if there's extraterrestrial life, it means that there's no God. No, it doesn't. It means that there's a creator and there's life. Like, I mean, whether or not you want to acknowledge a creator or not, I'm not having that conversation. What I am saying is that life can exist outside of planet Earth. It's not that crazy of a concept. People have been talking about this for centuries. You know, they thought of them as, you know, other types of beings like gods and all that jazz. I personally think there's more far-fetched things than aliens. Highways. Highways. I want you guys to think about this for a second, okay? Highways go for miles and miles and miles. Like Route 66. Across the entirety of America. Somebody paved that entire highway. How long did that take them? Okay? How long did that take them? I personally think it's very difficult to believe that highways were created by man. And I know they are. But really think about that for a second. Highways are such a huge step for humanity to make. And like, I mean, because I'm driving right now on a road that is in a town, right? Okay? And this probably took, you know, years to make, depending on the size of the town too. You know, depending on if it's a big town or a small town or whatever. To pave parking lots, the driveways, the roads, all that stuff, that takes a crazy amount of time because you're not just paving, you're making sure it's smooth. And then you have to make sure that it dries and that it's ready for hundreds upon thousands of vehicles to drive on them. Highways freak me out, man. It blows my mind. I liken highways to the pyramids or Stonehenge. That's how I look at it. Because it messes with me that much. I'm not saying that they're mythical. I'm not saying it's impossible for humans to have made them. I'm just saying that it's like that's, if that is the case, that's what we as humanity have achieved. We have done wonderful things. There's no more having to take your camel, you know, across, you know, a couple of states, and it takes, you know, however long, you know, like months. You can drive across the state in about 4 hours. Like, that's so wild to me. It's so wild. So for whoever created highways and either used concrete seeds or wished for them to come into existence or actually made them, thank you. And thank you for watching. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that way you never miss an episode. Bob the Demon question video will be coming out very soon. Thank you for watching.